Hello and welcome to another Crafternoon to Go program from Westerly Library in Wilcox Park. We're starting our Handmade Holidays series, which means that every week for 4 weeks we're going to have a new craft available, all of which make great gifts for a loved one for the holiday. This week we're making book wreaths out of recycled materials. If you signed up this week, you should receive a kit that includes a 12 by 12 square of cardboard and about 100 book pages and a piece of twine. In addition to the materials in your kit, you'll also need scissors or a razor blade, a pencil, and either glue or tape. A hot glue gun would work best for this project, but it's not absolutely necessary. Masking tape, scotch tape, or even Elmer's glue work just fine. The only downside of using a different form of glue than a hot glue gun is that you have to wait longer for it to dry. Once you have your materials ready, we can get started. Our first step is to make the wreath form, and for this project you don't need anything fancy. You want the wreath to lay flat against the wall, so you don't actually want a wire or a styrofoam wreath form. I found that cardboard works best, and once your wreath is complete you won't even see it at all. So take your cardboard square and draw or trace a large circle. You have enough supplies to make a 12-inch circle, but you can absolutely make it smaller if you wish, like 8 or 9 inches. Next, draw a smaller circle inside the large one, about half the diameter. Using your scissors or razor blade, cut out the outer and inner circles so that you have a donut shape. Again, once the project is complete, you won't see the cardboard, so it absolutely does not need to be perfect. Next, tie your twine around the wreath. Later, you can use this to hang your wreath. Pro tip, use the razor blade to make a small notch at the top of the inner circle and use this to keep your twine in place. Our next step is to start rolling our paper into cones. To do this, fold the bottom right corner of your paper up towards the top left side of the paper. The bottom of the cone will be approximately in the middle of the paper. Carefully continue rolling until you have a cone shape. Be patient because this does take a little bit of practice to really get down. You can also play with the sizes of your cones. There is no right answer for this. You can make them shorter and thick or thin and long, or you can do a little bit of both. Once your cone is shaped, secure it with either glue or tape. I personally like to use tape for this part, and just a tiny piece is all that you really need to keep it in place. Alright, now it's a good time to turn on your favorite television show or podcast or audiobook because it does take a little bit of time to do this. Continue rolling your cones until you have about 50 or 60. If your cones are on the thicker side, this might be enough, but if they're thin, you might find you need some more, which is why you do have about 100 pieces of paper. But this is enough to get started with, and you can always make more later if you need to. So finally, it's time to start assembling our wreath. Start by attaching 4 cones to your wreath, like the points of a compass, or the quarter hours of a clock, whatever works best for you. This will help guide you and ensure that your wreath takes on a nice symmetrical form. If you have different sizes of cones, it's a good idea to use your thicker ones here. Make sure that the points of your cones extend into the inner circle so that the whole piece of cardboard is being covered. Now start filling in the empty areas with cones. Lay them down first until you like the way they are arranged, and then you can glue them when you're ready. Again, you may want to use your larger ones for this first layer. If your cones are all the same size though, that's totally fine too. Continue adding cones to your wreath until you have 2 or 3 layers, and so that you can't see the cardboard or any empty spaces. The exact number of layers depends on the size of your cones and your personal preferences. If you want it really full looking, you can add even more than this. You can also cut some of your remaining book pages in half to make smaller cones and add those in there as well. And with that, you're done. You should have a beautiful vintage looking wreath, which is a great gift for the book lover in your life. Just make sure to tell them that it's made from recycled books that have been given a fabulous new life. Thanks again for watching this tutorial and taking part in our Crafternoon to Go program. Keep an eye out for more great craft projects from the Westerly Library in Wilcox Park, and as always, please reach out to us with any questions, comments, or feedback. Thank you.